Welcome to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9 and the Flashes Digital Network. We are just a few minutes away from kickoff here. It is a warm and muggy night here at Versailles Field, but truly looking forward to bringing you this contest between St. Joseph Academy and Cedar Creek Christian. Right now, the captains are preparing to walk out to midfield for the opening coin toss and some instructions from the head referee. My co-host Brian is with me tonight. We are actually hanging out inside the press box. Not our favorite place to be. We prefer to be atop the press box because it's a bit cooler up there, but with all the rain chances, it was a little safer to set up in here. But Brian, why not say hello?
Hello, and it is hot, and it's only going to get hotter, I suspect, with six of us in this small box. But we're going to enjoy every minute of it, have some nice quality time with the announcers and the referee, and I think somebody from the other team potentially.
I'm not so much worried about the temperature inside the press box. I just feel bad for everybody else who's going to have to listen to us while they try to do their job. Now we'll try to do our job as best we can, so it's not too bad for all of you who are tuned in on the Flashes Digital Network. The camera work tonight will be done also by the play-by-play guy, so I will ask for just a little bit of patience and grace as we try to follow along both with our voice and also with this camera in front of me. We do have a student assistant who's going to be helping us out in the second half, so if you note a significant improvement, well, that's probably not because I got better. We're going to step away for just a few minutes to get ready for opening kickoff. We'll be right back. Welcome to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9. Fired up to be along with you for this broadcast. The Flashes have just taken the field for their introduction. They're getting ready to stretch and then head out for the opening kickoff. It's warm out there. Last week, the Flashes dealt with some cramps on their way to what was a 33-0 opening of the season win. They've conditioned, they've practiced. I hope they're ready for Cedar Creek Christian, who came home with a 42-6 win over a common opponent of ours over the last few years in Cedar Creek Christian. Excuse me, in St. Francis. They are Cedar Creek Christian.
And you know, we don't really know what to expect out of Cedar Creek Christian. Last year they lost to St. Francis Academy 44-20. That was a Cedar Creek Christian team that went 1-9 for the year. But again, it was a great reversal. They not only defeated them 42-6 in their first game of the season last week, they led 30-6, Todd, at the end of the first quarter. This is a team that certainly has some offensive firepower. Their offense started to generate some points pretty consistently the last 4 games of last season. That was when they picked up the lone win, excuse me. But we don't really know. We don't have a roster, and they didn't have a roster posted for last year. And you tried to talk to the coach and get a roster today. and couldn't get that either. So this is kind of a team of mystery right now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to try to give you as much information as we can. I can tell you this, the Flashes come out in all black tonight. The only green is the numbers and the lightning bolt on the helmet. Cedar Creek Christian is, well, if you know Catholic schools here in Jacksonville, they kind of look like Bishop Kenny right now. Black pants, white jersey with black numbers, and a red helmet. I'm not sure that I've got a college team I can point to. Maybe a Cincinnati road uniform, possibly. But for right now, we're just going to worry about the play on the field and not so much what these guys are wearing. Flashes are getting ready to kick off. Adrian Hemelt, who was pretty successful on his extra points, had some interesting plays on the kickoffs last week. We'll see how the Flashes choose to approach this as we get ready for the home opener here from St. Joe. Hemelt with the opening kick. It's a high end-over-end kick caught at the 25-yard line. The return man goes up the middle, has a little bit of space, gets out across the 40, now the 45-yard line, and it looks like Cedar Creek is going to get started right there at the 45.
And boy, we're going to have a hard time calling numbers for St. Joe with the black uniforms with the green lettering and my old eyes. I think Jack Titler was in on that tackle along with three guys who I couldn't identify.
Got kind of a little wishbone wing T style formation here for Cedar Creek. No wide receivers, just H-backs and fullbacks. Quarterback keeper, that is number 8, goes up the middle. Doesn't get much. Maybe picked up a yard. Trying to figure out the yard marker is in a very awkward spot. I think they're going to back that up for us here shortly. Number 8 was at the quarterback position. Either that or he took a direct snap. He was also the kickoff return man, so I imagine we're going to be calling that number a whole lot throughout the evening.
Number 8 had 3 long rushing touchdowns last week, a 50-yarder, a 30-yarder, and an 80-yarder. So, Todd, I think you're right.
So that ball is on. That ball ended up on the ground. It was plopped on by one of the upbacks, number 0. They're going to lose a couple of yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 8. You know, I got told before the game that we're going to see a lot of this wing T, wishbone style, old school style football. A lot of misdirection. Flash's defense is going to have to stay disciplined tonight.
And this is a team that we don't expect is going to throw the ball a whole lot. Didn't have any passing touchdowns last week against St. Francis.
All 4 players in the backfield are checking their wristbands right now. Nobody officially at the quarterback spot. 2 guys standing next to each other. The snap is fumbled. Picks it up, runs with it a bit. He gets caught for a loss, but a flag comes out. Flag came out right at the end of the play. This is either going to be an illegal block, and that's what it is. It's a hold on Cedar Creek, and they're going to back up a few.
Had about 3 or 4 flashes there on the defense. We had our cornerback, number 10, Jameer Stewart, was in on the tackle. We had Max Grimes, who's switched numbers again, as he so often did last time. Number 71, playing defensive line, and Max has moved from tight end to the offensive line. Todd, he had 7 pancake blocks last week, which is that's from a tight end position. So I think the coaches lost a couple of players on the O-line this week, and Max was a natural move inside.
So I thought the penalty was declined, but the board still says 3rd down. They're going to throw it. They have got a man, and the DB knocks it away. I believe that was Ray Evans who dropped back in coverage. Knocks away what would have been a 1st down and a whole lot more.
And it was a terrific play by Ray Evans. The ball kind of hung up there for a little bit. A team that runs the ball a lot, every now and then will try and sneak one over the top. And the receiver was about 3 yards deeper than the defender on that play. But because the ball hung, Ray was able to knock it away really after it touched the hands of the receiver. Very heads-up play by Ray to prevent a big play.
The Cedar Creek Saints appear to be lined up for a punt here. They'll kick it from their own 45-yard line. The punter is standing at his own 35. And there's going to be a timeout down on the field as they get ready. I imagine they've got some questions about what this play could look like if they don't, in fact, punt the football.
Yeah, I think what happened there was they had 12 men on the field because we could see number 55. And to our listening and viewing audience, you're just going to hear numbers. Again, we don't have rosters for Cedar Creek Christian through no fault of our own. But number 5 was trotting off the field, and then I'm guessing the coach called the timeout to avoid the penalty. And I would be surprised if we saw anything other than a re-kick, a single wing offense. Those don't tend to be explosive downfield passing attacks. They haven't generated any offense on the ground so far. So I think the safe play early in a game against a team who hasn't allowed a point all season, Todd, is to punt the ball.
We're 2 minutes into the second game of the year, but the initial shutout was impressive. So technically, you are right. Here is the snap. The punt is away, a spiraling kick that's going to bounce at the Flash's 30-yard line. A couple of Flashes are a little closer to it than I would have preferred.
No,
and it almost appeared like the Flashes downed the ball at the end of that, didn't it?
So the Flashes were playing that punt return like it was a punt. That's a play that you're yelling poison, 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 get away so you don't get blocked into the ball, so the ball doesn't take a weird bounce and tap into you. The Flashes were huddled around it as if they were afraid of Cedar Christian doing anything with it, which they couldn't legally do. So I'm sure the coaches, it's only the second game of the season, and we didn't have a preseason game. I'm sure they'll get that corrected.
Would have been impressive, though, if that had stayed that way and we had a couple of nice blockers for a return. Cody Ott will start this off with a handoff to Jack Fox, and look at Fox go. He heads around right tackle, who's going to pick up what looks like 16 yards on that first run. The Flashes with a first down, and Fox looked solid.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see the Flashes work hard to establish the run. That's a great start when you can pick up 16 on first down. Jack Fox last week had 100 yards by halftime, ran for about 10 yards a carry last week. In fact, practically our entire team ran for 10 yards a carry last week.
Asher Glisson, the other back for the Flashes, is by himself in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Ott rolls his way. He's under pressure. He dodges a receiver, completes this one to Jack Fox, who's going to pick up a solid 9 yards on that quick dump pass.
And it was really a nice play. I mentioned last week, Cody picked up a new nickname from our announcer, John Constantino.
He did.
Who's our very
interesting one at that.
Chris Berman up here in the booth. I wonder if that one will stick. But he was rolling left. Very difficult pass to make across the grain. Had to evade a rusher. Looked like he might run there. Was falling down as he made the pass. Found Jack in some open space. Sure-handed Jack Fox. Nice looking play for the Flashes.
Ott and Fox in the backfield. 4 wide receivers in the set, but they give it to Fox. Fox stiffs arms a man initially. He's out across the 30-yard line. He's going to get wrestled down at the 25. There is a flag down for what appears to be an illegal block. I think this one's coming back.
Yeah, and we'll still get some yardage on it, I think. It actually happened beyond the first down. There's a second flag down that's closer to the line of scrimmage. That's the one that worries me because that would take precedence. But the one downfield is one that just makes you cringe. He had the first down. It was unnecessary to make the block. It took away a big gain for Jack.
So that was a first down and 10 run. Right now they're marking off the penalty, and it's a doozy. It is going to be first down and nearly 20.
And I think the call, there were 2 separate calls, it looks like, and there was a hold at the line, 10-yard penalty, which, of course, the defense is wise to take.
All right, trips left, but they're going to throw this one right. He's got a man. That is Jeremiah Kess, who breaks away from an attempted tackle at the 45, gets across the 40, and picks up a whole lot of yardage on that one. A solid gain of 15 yards. It's going to be second down and 5.
And we've seen this chemistry develop over the past year plus between Cody and Jeremiah Kess. Cody floated that ball out before Jeremiah had even made his break, trusting Jeremiah to get to the ball. Jeremiah did, and we know that once he gets his hands on the ball, he's so dangerous.
3 wide receivers in the set, 2 out to the left, 1 to the right. Looks like it's Glisson in the backfield. Evans comes in motion. They pitch it to Evans, but Evans puts the ball on the ground. I think he may have jumped down on top of it. A couple of the Saints are pointing towards the north end zone, but it is Ray Evans with the football in his hand who gets up off the bottom of the pile. That was a little scary.
Yeah, and very costly. I think he just took his hands off the ball. Looked to me like a very catchable toss.
Took his eye off the ball.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess
took
he
his
did take
eyes
his
off
hands
the
off the ball,
and his
too.
hands
You
off
could look
the
at
ball.
it that way. That works.
And sometimes you're looking for that next move, for that block, for that cut that you're going to take. But a costly loss. That was a drop of 7. We go from second and a very manageable 5 to third and about 12.
Bunch formation here. There are 4 wide receivers, but they are tight to the line. Fakes the handoff up the middle. Ott's looking for a man. He finds, oh no, Glisson had it and dropped it. I'm still not sure if they're going to call that incomplete or a fumble. The way they're spotting the ball, they're talking about it as a fumble. There is a flag down. The back judge has just picked up said flag and places the ball all the way back at the 49-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 16. The Flashes are likely going to have to punt this one away. I'd like a replay to see if that was actually a catch, but there is no replay, and so it's going to be 4th and a while.
Yeah, and it was certainly a catchable ball right in Asher's hand. I think that was another situation where he tried to run before he secured the catch.
He is a dynamic athlete. I was looking forward to seeing him with the ball in his hands. They're going for it from their own 48-yard line. Flag comes out.
And that's a delay.
That is a delay. Play clock was at 0. And so a 4th and 17 is now going to be a 4th and 21. I'm not sure if the Flashes have any choice but to punt this ball away.
You know, Todd, we're seeing a repeat of something that plagued the Flashes last week, which was penalties. We had a nice-looking drive that was undone here by penalties and a couple of drops. A fumble certainly didn't help either, but penalties really hurt the Flashes last week.
Adrian Hemelt lines up for the punt. Oh, and it is a beauty. A long punt that takes a big hop inside the 5, and oh, the coverage team gets to it but can't keep it out of the end zone. That is going to be a touchback, but what a beautifully struck punt.
It was. It was kind of a low-line drive. I can't believe it carried 56 yards into the end zone. The fact that usually you don't have to pull up when you're 56 yards from the end zone in high school football, and it took a forward bounce, but we did have a player there that just kind of awkwardly handled the ball, was in a great position to really bury the defense of the Saints.
I think he may have had a little bit of room to try to grab that one and slam on the brakes, maybe down that ball inside the 5, but he did attempt to flip it back and just couldn't quite get it out of the end zone. So now with 7:09 to play in the first quarter and no score in the ball game, the Saints have it for the second time. They're going to run this one. That is number 8. He goes off right tackle for a gain of about 3.
And the Flashes have done a good job keeping number 8 in check. The good thing about the single wing offense is that you can get help from your cornerbacks along with those defensive ends.
Number 8 and number 0 have been the primary ball carriers in the early parts of this football game.
And number 8 again last week had 3 long touchdown runs. He's definitely a guy we've got to keep bottled up.
2 wide receivers. Fakes the handoff, fakes the throw. He's going to take off and run it. This is number 6 who has lined up at quarterback over the course of the last few minutes. He gets taken down after a gain that's going to grant them a first down. I guess they garnered a first down. They were not granted a first down. They earned it, so they garnered a first down.
And that was a senior player who stepped in, first year playing football for St. Joe, Eddie Petracco, who was in on that tackle there and I believe is also playing on the offensive line.
3 wide receivers in the formation, spreading it out a little bit, but it is a run by number 8. He is brought down in the backfield by Asher Glisson. A nice job by the Flashes defense.
It was. Brought him down from behind. Asher's a pretty fast guy, so that was good penetration and way to stay with the ball carrier who can be explosive in space.
2nd down and 10. 5:33 to go in the first quarter. Still no score in this ball game between Cedar Creek and St. Joseph Academy. Cedar Creek moving from right to left on your radio dial, at least from where I'm standing. Number 8 goes straight up the middle, spins away from the initial tackle, but he is brought down after a short gain. It's going to be 3rd down and around 7.
Yeah, great swarming defense by the Flashes. There were 4 guys there. Again, my old eyes are having a hard time picking up numbers there. I know Jack Titler was in on it. I know number 10, the freshman, Jameer Stewart, was in on there. There was a big body in the middle, but I couldn't pick up the number with the dark green on the black and the tint of the window in front of us. I'll place some blame there too.
4:44 to go in the first quarter. It's 3rd down and a long 6. The Saints line up with 2 H-backs and 2 wide receivers to the right. Here's the snap. Quarterback is going to keep it. Number 6 goes around right side, but the Flashes defense was ready. They take him down for a loss, and it's going to bring up another 4th down.
Fantastic job by the Flashes. There was nothing going there. Really on the one big running play, there was a big hole in the middle, but there haven't been any holes apart from that.
You're listening to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9 and the Flashes Digital Network. It is 4th down and 8 with 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Cedar Creek lining up for what appears to be a punt. Ray Evans is the returner for St. Joe. He's standing just inside his own 40-yard line. Here's the snap. The punt is a high end-over-end kick that'll come down at the Flashes 40. Take a little Saints bounce to the 35. Evans walks by the ball, engages in a little discussion with one of the Saints, and now heads over, not quite to the sideline because he'll be in the offensive huddle.
And that was kind of a funny punt. The Flashes, I think pretty clearly were coached in between the last punt and this punt because we didn't have anybody near the ball until it stopped. But there almost weren't any Saints near the ball. The Saints kind of pulled back early, and Evans, who was going to let that ball bounce, he thought about it for a second. He looked like, hey, they're not really playing much defense around the ball. I might be able to pick that up. And then I think he made the right decision in not touching the ball.
All right, we have hit the water break here in the first quarter with 3:36 to play. Flashes and the Saints are locked up 0-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9. Just coming out of the first quarter water break, which oddly was taken at the 3-minute and 36 mark rather than the normal 6-minute mark. I don't exactly know why, but I do know that the Flashes are lined up right now with Asher Glisson in the backfield and 3 wide receivers split out wide. Here's the snap. Handoff goes to Glisson. He cuts it back. He has got an opening. He's across the 50, but there is a flag down. This one may be coming back. Referees are engaged in a discussion with a Flash back around their own 40-yard line, and I think this one is going to come back.
Yeah, it's another hold. So far, the only thing that's been able to stop the Flash's ground game has been the Flashes. Another holding penalty, very costly. But the Flashes are showing that even at 1st and 20, but that's not an automatic passing down. We can run the ball and pick up 10, 12, 15 yards a clip.
So it will be 1st and 20. 3:27 to go in the first quarter. Still no score in this ball game between St. Joseph Academy and Cedar Creek Christian. Flash's offense put up 33 points last week in their opener on the road at Trinity Christian. Now they're going to have it at their own 25 for this 1st and 20.
Looks like Jack
Fox
in the backfield.
He's the lone man. 3 wide receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. Here's the snap. Looks left. He is under pressure. Spins away from the initial pressure, but he is going to be sacked for a loss back at the 20-yard line by number 71. If you're listening on the radio, 71 made the tackle. If you're watching this on the YouTube live stream, you didn't see anything because the play-by-play guy is also running the camera and not doing a great job.
It looks like he got up a little gingerly there. I think he's going to come off the field holding his middle section. Got his helmet off right now. Might see a Wildcat type situation right now. We saw a little bit last year where Ray Evans took quarterback. We do have a freshman backup quarterback, Ollie Brinteson, who hasn't seen any game action yet.
But it is Ray Evans at quarterback. He's got 3 wide receivers, but he's going to keep it and run it. A nice block there around the right side. He's across the 30 and now the 35. Dances away from another tackler. He'll get out to the 44-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, that was a nice.
Make that 2nd and 2.
22, 23-yard pickup there by Ray Evans. Great job to give the offense a jolt. We've got a reshuffled offensive line. We're missing a starter from last game who's out injured. Actually, 2 starters from last game who were out injured, and Max Grimes and Ricky Fernandez, I believe, have stepped in. Cody Ott is back on the field.
Jack Fox is in the backfield. 4 wide receivers. Trips left, 1 to the right. That's Kess. He looks Kess's way. Kess with the catch around the 50. Breaks the tackle. He's out across the 40. Cuts back, and he's in the open field. Look at him go all the way for the score. 57 yards. Touchdown Flashes.
Boy, I got to say, that was a gutsy call, Todd. I was convinced at 3rd and 2, after having been buried by that first down holding penalty, Jack Fox in the backfield get the 2 yards. It wasn't a dangerous pass. It was a simple little out. They play a lot of man defense, and so they've got to worry about Kess getting the deep ball. So far, we've been able to find him short. I said it before. You get him in space, he's dangerous.
1:33 to go in the first quarter. The Flashes have now put 6 points on the board, and Adrian Hemelt looks to make it 7.
As a quarterback, you love those kind of touchdown passes. You throw it 5 yards, and your guy runs for 52.
Kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 Flashes as they now head back to get lined up. And Brian, just out of respect for Mr. Kess, I believe that was 57, not 52.
Well, the pass was 5 yards, and then the run was 52. 52 plus 5, doing some quick math, 57.
Is indeed. I just want to make sure that 57 is written on the score sheet for the receiver and credit. And I can verify, not only is there a 57, but there is a T next to it. And that will serve not only as his longest play of the season, but the opening score of this football game, 7-0 Flashes.
Cody had 3 long touchdown passes come back because of penalties last week. Would have thrown for close to 300 yards. The longest of those was a 75-yarder. I believe that was to Ray Evans. So it's nice that I think we were all the Flashes parents and fans were looking for flags after that one went the distance. Unfortunately, we didn't find any.
All right, the ball is going to be set at the 40-yard line. Adrian Hemelt is counting his teammates and now marking off his steps. Appears to have the proper number of teammates and the proper number of steps for this kick. It's interesting watching him in warm-ups. He's got a much bigger leg than they show in coverage.
Well, with a 56-yard punt, that was evident. Hopefully we're not kicking to number 8. And the kick
Hemelt
goes to number 8.
drives this one over number 8's head. It takes a big hop at the 10-yard line. Number 8 cuts it back at the 15. He is going to dance away from a defender, but is ultimately taken out of bounds. I believe that was Jeremiah Kess with the tackle.
It was Jeremiah Kess, and we saw the outside guy on the right side of the coverage team get sucked inside trying to make a play. Jeremiah almost also got blocked inside, but wisely was able to reestablish outside position, was still in a trail position. Number 8 got outside of him, but he made the tackle, used a sideline as a 12th defender, and brought him down really with good defensive field position for the Flashes at the 21.
Going to give a quick shout out to one of our parents who's actually watching this game from New Orleans. I hope you enjoy the broadcast as much as we are. Here's the snap. Number 6 on the keeper, goes straight up the middle, but he is going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage. 2 Flashes gave him a hug, sat him down. Looks like that was number 54, Eddie Petracco, along with Max Grimes.
Yeah, Max Grimes got there fast. Almost in danger of running past him, but really a great play by Max to just grab on and hold tight. Max is becoming another one of those players who just are valuable in so many ways for the Flashes.
He has grown significantly since last year. Here's the snap. A little bit of trickery and misdirection. Decent run out to the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. Was kind of a double handoff mini reverse there.
And that was Ricky Fernandez, who's doing double duty as well, playing linebacker and offensive line, was our 3rd leading tackler, if I'm remembering correctly, from last year. Another one of those players who just helps out wherever he can. And Calvin Schilling, a newcomer to the Flashes who led the team in catches last week, was in on that tackle as well.
He of the state of Minnesota. All right, that is a timeout. There are just about 45 seconds to go, actually 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. So we're going to stay with you through this timeout as we get ready for this initial first quarter break. Flashes lead at 7-0 over Cedar Creek. And Brian, they look good so far.
They do. That touchdown kind of allows us to breathe easier a little bit. We had a nice drive brewing that we undid ourselves on the first drive, and then offensively we started with the penalty and then had a couple of nice plays. Defensively, we've been pretty locked in. We've given up 1 first down. We're a yard away from a second one. The defense called the timeout on this one. I think it's 4-down territory, even though it's the opponent's 30. A running team, I think we're going to see probably number 8 and number 6 get the ball twice if they don't get it the first time.
Just 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3rd down and 1 for the Saints. Flash's defense tight to the line with just a safety more than 5 yards away from the ball, and he's even creeping up even closer than that. Long count here. They're going to talk about it, and they're going to talk about it some more. That is a second timeout taken by the Saints.
And I think the play there for the Saints was, hey, we're going to do a hard snap count and try and get them off sides. And when that didn't work, they didn't have anything else in the bag and had to burn a timeout. The ref actually dropped his flag. I think it must have been, I couldn't see the play clock, but it must have been getting close to delay of game because the ref had the flag ready, it appeared. It fell down as he was signaling the timeout.
I have no comment on that, but yeah. All right, so as we look at this defense, they've been very stout up the middle. In years past, they've actually struggled up a little. We've always been good in the secondary positions. We've always had a couple of really good linebackers. But this is the first season that I'm looking out there right now saying this looks like a big, stout defensive line.
And it's really not that big. They're tall and rangy, but there's not a lot of beef on that line. There's a lot of athleticism, and I think that's worked to the Flash's favor so far.
All right, 3rd and 1. We're going to try this again. 2 guys in the backfield with their hand up like they're the quarterback, but this is going to go straight up the middle to a fullback, and he's going to get the first down. A gain of a couple. The clock has stopped with 0.7 seconds on it.
Looked like number 7 was in on that tackle. I think Max Grimes, again, in on that tackle. About 4 flashes in there. It is a first down, 34-yard line.
Referees are having a chat around the 30-yard line. Ball is spotted at the Saints 34. Referees head back and spot the football. The first down sticks have been moved. The clock is going to start. There are 10 seconds to play in the quarter. Saints do not appear to be in a hurry, but they are lined up. They take the snap. 2 guys get their hands on it. Only one of them gets to run with it. He is going to get across the 36, maybe to the 37-yard line. That will bring us to the end of the first quarter. The St. Joseph Academy Flashes lead it 7-0 over Cedar Creek. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9. My name is Todd. My co-host is Brian. We are broadcasting live from St. Joseph Academy over here in St. Augustine, Florida, as the Flashes take on the Cedar Creek Christian Saints. The Flashes lead it 7-0 after a 57-yard touchdown by Jeremiah Kess, thrown to him by one Cody Ott. The Saints put together a little drive here. They've actually got the ball 2nd down and 6. Actually, the yard marker was just moved modestly, hopefully with integrity. It is now going to be a snap, direct snap to number 8. He dances away from the initial tackler in the backfield, and now he's got a little room. He's going to be taken out of bounds just across midfield. Flashes nearly had him in the backfield. Now there is a flag down,
So
and there is going to be a penalty here.
Yeah, and it was it could be one of 2 things. I don't think they're going to get him for horse collar. I think it's a late hit out of bounds. Whatever it was needless. He was out of bounds. It should be a 15-yarder. We just have to be able to control the energy of the game there. I do want to go back a play, though, Todd, and call out my boy Cole Duffy, making his first start. He's a freshman, new to the game, and he's playing in linebacker. Where again, injuries have caused us to shift some players around. Made a solo tackle on that first down play, and he looked good doing it. Looked like a football player.
Well, good for Mr. Duffy. We're glad to have him. It's 1st down and 10. Saints are in plus territory for the first time. They run the little snap reverse. Flash's defense is ready, and they take him down after a short gain. They're going to give him credit for 3 yards on that play.
And Max Grimes has really been everywhere throughout the first quarter. That's the 4th time he's had his hands on a player. I think that was number 54 who was right there with him. We've called him out a couple times. That's the senior Eddie
Petracco. It's 2nd down and 7 for the Saints. The ball is marked at the 34-yard line. They are in Flash's territory, down 7. Here's the snap. Fakes the handoff to one man. Little misdirection play. The second man is number 9, and he's going to be brought down Doesn't gain anything, but he stayed on his feet for a good 5 to 10 seconds there.
So Calvin Schilling did the dirty work there, but Ricky Fernandez was a big part of blowing that play up. That was a play that was designed to go outside. Ricky flew outside from the outside linebacker spot, was there, almost made a beautiful tackle for a loss, but turned it inside and slowed him down so that what looked like it was going to at least gain a few yards, Calvin Schilling was able to shut down for no gain, and now it's 3rd and long.
Calvin Schilling, a former resident of the state of Minnesota. I don't know if he's a Viking fan, but the Viking sounds like a cool nickname. Here is the snap. Quarterback looks to throw, puts this one in the air, deep down the middle. That one is going to be intercepted by the Flashes.
It looks like Jeremiah
Kess comes up with it at their own 12-yard line. What an opportunistic play. Great coverage. There were actually 2 Flashes who had a better shot at the ball than did the receiver.
There were 3 Flashes in the area. One of them had the underneath coverage, 2 of them over the receiver. The ball was overthrown, and the 2 Flashes were practically fighting each other for the ball. Hopefully there was some communication there, but Jeremiah Kess makes another play for the Flashes.
The Flashes have it 1st and 10 from their own 12-yard line. Flashes lead it 7-0. 10 minutes to play in the first half. Cody Ott puts this one in the air. He's got a man. That one is going to be incomplete. Kess had a step.
First incomplete pass for Cody tonight. He went all the way halfway through the 3rd quarter last week without throwing an incomplete pass, and it was just overthrown. Kess did his best to run under it, and Kess had about 3 steps on the defender.
Brian, I want to note something. I know you and I are both school principals, and there is nothing more valuable to a school than good kids and great teachers and engaged parents. But I don't think that people truly appreciate the value of the people that really get some of the dirty work done. Cody Ott is going to break a tackle, and we're going to finish this story in just a moment. He is going to be taken down for a loss. Actually, he's going to get just enough to keep that from being a sack.
Hard hit, holding his hip there, but it looks like he's okay.
So I want to very briefly talk about the unsung heroes of schools, and I'm going to give a little shout out on my staff to Joanne.
John Constantino?
No, to Joanne and Sharon for all the incredible work they do all around St. Joseph Academy. And then I guess on your behalf, you've got Lisa and Cindy who do some incredible work for you, and I don't think they get enough credit, so we're going to give them a little shout out here. I know at least one of those 4 is actually watching this broadcast right now, and I want to take the opportunity to make sure she knows we're thinking about her. Here is the snap, the throw. Asher Glisson makes the grab at the 40-yard line. He is going to wrestle. He's going to be wrestled down, but he's wrestling with a couple of defenders. Huge gain for the Flashes. How about that?
That was, and here's the Sling Blade nickname again. Really a beautiful ball. That was on a rope right in the hole of the coverage. And Asher sure-handed and great running after the catch. You know, Todd, we've got a lot of big play guys on this team. It's a great team to be a quarterback for. You've got a strong running game anchored by Jack Fox and Asher Glisson. You've got several receivers who are threats for big plays and sure-handed. And a line who's getting it done if we can keep the penalties under wraps.
Quick pitch here to Evans on the reverse. Raymond makes a man miss at the 40. He is going to get thrown down, but there is a flag down. This is going to be a hold against St. Joe.
And you know, the Flashes wanted to establish the running game tonight, but the problem is more often than not, we've been penalized for holding when we've tried to establish it.
Well, and I think anybody who's watched a lot of NFL football knows the importance and the value of wide receivers who block. If you're really going to be effective in the run game, especially when you're going to try to run on the edge, those guys need to be stout. Actually, I learned something interesting, and as I'm looking out on the field, I actually know a guy who played linebacker in the NFL, and one of the things that he taught me when I just engaged him about what are the tricks of the trade, what's something cool that I wouldn't think about, he said you don't choose the color of your gloves to match your own uniform. You wear a color of glove that matches the other team's uniform so it blends into the jersey. Big throw here from Ott. That was going to be caught by Kess. Kess goes into the end zone. No flags on the field. Touchdown Flashes. 8:21 to go in the first half. 13 points on the board.
The first one was 57. The second was 50. Another beautiful ball, perfect touch. There was a safety coming over. Kess once again beats the cornerback. I think what the Flashes knew coming in is that they were going to be able to get some yardage on the run, and they were going to be able to do some damage against a man defense with Jeremiah Kess, and they have proven to be able to do both so far.
Accurate throw on time from Cody Ott. Jeremiah Kess confidently brings it in and then races his way to the end zone. Adrian Hemelt is going to try to make it 14. The kick is up, and it is good. The Flashes with a 14-0 lead, 8:21 to go in the first half.
And you know, the Flashes, I don't know if it's fair to say they've been pushed. They're winning 14-0, but things haven't gone completely smoothly. They're executing on both sides of the ball. Todd, you know, they haven't given up a point all season long. I don't know if I've mentioned that. Defense is locking it down. The offense is picking up yardage in chunks. We're on pace again for potentially a 300-yard passing night. We still got a lot of football to play, but the big plays that got penalties called on them, they've cleaned up some of that on the passing downs, and what a backbreaker for a defense when you're giving up 50, 57-yard touchdown passes.
You know, Brian, last week we knew we were facing an opponent that had struggled last year and who fielded a very small club. So the Flashes go out, they take care of business, they put 33 points on the board. But we didn't know for sure what we had in this offense because, you know, we talked last week about linebackers having to come out and guard, in some cases, your best receiver. This is a team in Cedar Creek that comes out after a 30-plus point win last week. And we had questions. I talked to head coach Cash Forbrick on the radio on Wednesday night, and he said, look, there's not a lot of information on this team, but we know they found some considerable success last week. They run the ball effectively, a lot of misdirection. We're going to have to be disciplined, but we didn't really know what they were going to be on offense because we don't know a lot about St. Francis yet. Right now, I think the important thing is the Flashes look to be for real.
And you said the word, Coach Cash said it, discipline. To be able to play defense against that single wing with the misdirection, you have to stay in your area. You can't bite on the fakes. You have to know your responsibility, not try and do too much. And the Flashes have done just that.
Hemelt blasts this one down to the 15-yard line. It checks up for him like a Titleist. Number 8, the return man, is going to get out across the 30, breaks a couple of tackles. He'll be brought down at the 33-yard line. But I think if we did the analysis, number 8 has probably touched the ball 65% of the plays for Cedar Creek.
Absolutely. We knew going in, again, he had those 3 long touchdowns last week. We knew that he was going to be a factor. We had a couple Flashes newcomers in there. That was Ollie Brinteson got in on the tail end of that. Number 18, Camden Schweitzer was also in there. Somebody else made the initial hit, and I didn't get a number on that. Great to see the freshman not only seeing the field, but getting in on some of the action.
Flash's defense looks to continue the success on the evening. Here come the Saints. Here is the snap. It's a direct snap. Quarterback keeper, number 6. He's going to be taken down. So for those of you that are listening live on WSOS 103.9, the way this formation is set up, number 6 and number 8 are both lined up as if they are quarterbacks. They're standing in the same spot. They both have their hands up as if they are going to receive the ball. There is an H-back or 2. Sometimes a guy split out wide. Sometimes they snap it to number 6 and he hands it to number 8. Sometimes it's a direct snap to number 8. And at times, number 6 keeps it and takes off. It's been really interesting to watch. It's hard to tell sometimes if it's a quarterback keeper or if they're both kind of playing the athlete position, which is what we see now. Although number 8 had his hands on his hips, and he takes the direct snap. How do you like that? You know, that might be a tell. He's going to break a tackle there at the 45. Now he's racing down the sideline. He'll be brought down at the 30. Brian, I want to keep an eye on that because I wonder if that isn't a little tell based on where his hands were. I'll come back to that a little bit later.
You don't have to worry about me. I'm not getting the ball. Great job by, I think it was Ray Evans that ran all the way down the field. We had two flashes get down there, but they had a blocker manned up with one of them. If Ray doesn't make that tackle, and he made it authoritatively, then flashes might give up a long touchdown there. And I've mentioned several times, number 8 is capable of that long run. I think the philosophy is we're going to keep feeding it to him, and he may get the 2s and the 3s and an occasional 0, but he's a big play possibility every time.
Flashes lead at 14-0. We're midway through the second quarter. Cedar Creek is going to get taken down on that play for a very short gain. For those of you that are just checking in with us, Cedar Creek didn't provide us with a roster. There was no roster on Max Preps. There was no roster provided by a coach. So we weren't able to really announce them before the game during introductions. And now we find ourselves calling just numbers. So if you're listening from Cedar Creek, I apologize that we can't offer a little more personal attention to your athletes, but we'll do the best we can to continue to identify numbers as we go. Number 6 and number 8 in white jerseys and red helmets in the backfield. Here is the snap. Ball is on the ground. They were motioning towards the left. They're going to be brought down for a big loss. It was 2nd and 7. It's going to be 3rd and about 13.
And Ray Evans was back there again with a host of flashes with a tackle for the loss. It's been a pretty clean game by the Saints on offense in terms of clean snaps, pitches. They did have maybe one play where it looked like there was some confusion, but still reacted quickly. That was an unusual fumbling of the ball that gave the Flashes an opportunity for a negative play.
Here's the snap. It is a double reverse from number 8 to number 9, but the Flashes defense was not fooled. Asher Glisson makes the tackle all the way back at the 45-yard line. That is going to bring up a 4th down and 20+.
Yeah, fantastic play by Asher. Great penetration. Dominic Puntillo was back there again.
5:28 to go in the first half. The Flashes lead at 14-0, and they've got Cedar Creek in a 4th down and 22. Cedar Creek appears to be going for it. They are in plus territory at the Flashes 42.
I think this is a mistake, Todd. Even down 14-0, you don't have a potent passing game. The last time they threw it downfield, it was intercepted.
Here's the snap. 6 takes it. Looks right. There was motion before the snap. A flag. Actually, I do not see a flag. I only hear a whistle. Now we have a flag. It's going to be against the Flashes. A neutral zone infraction for St. Joe. I am stumbling over my words because I am in shock.
But still, it's 4th and very long. I'll be honest with you, I'd punt it here too. It's a little more defensible now when the ball's on the 37, but you're given a potent Flashes offense, potentially a shorter field with still plenty of time on the clock, over 4 minutes.
Bunch formation. Here's the snap. 6 looks downfield. Lofts this one down to the 20-yard line. A receiver fell down. Another receiver seemed to be running a route different from the route expected by his quarterback. That ball falls incomplete, and the Flashes will take over on downs. 4:37 to play in the second quarter, and with a 14-0 lead.
Todd, I couldn't tell there if the receiver got tangled up in the defensive backs or linebacker, quite honestly's feet, or if it was one of those where, hey, the ball's overthrown. There's defenders between the ball and me. I'm not going to get there. Maybe I can draw a flag by falling down.
Interesting. Twins to either side of the line for the Flashes. Jack Fox is in the backfield with Cody Ott. Ott takes the snap. He looks left. He throws. He's got Jeremiah Kess for a short gain. And actually now they're going to rule it incomplete. That was not Kess. That was Schilling. I don't know why I'm caught up on the fact that he is from Minnesota, but he is. I don't know if he likes the Vikings. I don't know if he likes Justin Jefferson, but he plays the wide receiver position. So I'm going to draw the connection and let you draw your own conclusions.
I think it look like an official's timeout here. possibly for a water break. The timing of the water breaks has been a little bit unpredictable tonight.
4:27 to play. While we are at this water break, I want to give a shout out to the youngest and apparently the happiest fan at St. Joseph Academy right now. His name is Jude Costantino. He's got a smile on his face while he's watching this game. He looks happy as can be, really enjoying himself. And the Flashes lead of 14-0 with just 4:27 to go in this first half. He is bouncing his way through this game and just having a good old time.
And the Flashes are having a good old time. The boosters have provided, I don't know what they're called, blow up things that you slap together and make noise.
They are thunder sticks.
Thunder sticks is the proper name.
Thunder.
Maybe you see the connection there, Todd. Thunder and Flashes.
Yes, I did draw that connection.
Clever by the boosters. Very subtle.
It was.
Maybe
and I
not
know
so
which
subtle.
member of the booster club delivered those today. Ooh, speaking of delivering, Ray Evans delivers on this run. He's across the 50, now across the 40. Cuts back. He's on his feet, and oh my, he may go. Oh, but there is a flag down. There is a flag down and a conversation happening between a Flash and a Saint. And I think this one is coming back.
Yeah, I think it's going to come back partially. It's still going to be a big play. I didn't see the penalty. I saw the flag when it went down. Don't know if it was one of those head scratchers, like why he was making a play. We didn't need to do it. We can see the player who's on the sideline and just got some words from one of the coaches. The original line of scrimmage was the 37. Looks like they're still going to get at least 20 out of it.
So the marker is sitting at the 28-yard line. So if I'm not mistaken, we're going to back up 15 from there.
I think it should be 10 if it's a hold or a block in the back, unless they called it a personal foul.
Well, we're going to wait and see. I haven't seen a signal yet. Only the mark off now. And the ball is going to come all the way back to the 42-yard line. All the way back to the 42. So the Flashes will still get the first down. They are still in plus territory. Ray Evans still with a very impressive run, but the touchdown will come off the board, and the Flashes will have it 1st and 10 with a little more than 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Here is the snap. Ott rolls right. He's got a man in the flat. He hits him. It is complete. Receiver is going to get knocked out of bounds around the 35-yard line. A gain of just a couple. Waiting to identify the athlete who made that play. If I'm not mistaken,
it
might be Jameer Stewart.
Okay. I was looking for a 15. Was it a 10?
It was either Jacob Cologne or Jameer Stewart. Either way, it's a first down for the Flash. On first down, they're going to pick up 5.
15 is Jacob Cologne on the last catch.
My spotter tells me it was number 15, Jacob Cologne. Here is the snap. The throw out to the left is caught. Look at him go. Helmet gets ripped off. A face mask is going to be called, and that'll be an extra 15 yards. Jack Titler with a nice catch on the swing pass. It was a little out in front of him. He made a big play, and he's going to get all the way down to the 20-yard line. It's a first down for St. Joe. They are in the red zone with 3:42 to go in the first half.
Yeah, pretty play, and we haven't seen that one out of the Flash's playbook too much. Worried that Cody might have overthrown it, but it ended up leading him pretty nicely. And Jack did a great job running to the ball and caught it in stride. Jack Titler's not a guy who catches a lot of balls. We've seen him in the backfield occasionally over the last year or two as a running back sometimes, but nice little play for the Flashes. We've seen a very balanced Flashes offense the last 2 games, effective through the ground and the air.
All right, the Flashes have it at the 10-yard line. Man goes in motion. It's Evans. Evans takes the pitch. sprinting towards the end zone. He'll go in and score. Touchdown, Ray Evans. 6 points for St. Joe. It's 20-0 with 3:35 to play in the second
And
quarter.
very fitting that Ray Evans should get that touchdown. He should have had the touchdown on the long run, if not for the penalty. Made a really spectacular highlight reel play. So good call by Coach Cash to give him an opportunity from the 10-yard line. Flash's offense looking sharp.
We have a guest in the booth that is a very close compatriot, potentially more than a compatriot. The spouse of my co-host Brian Ott is here, and she witnesses a solid extra point by Adrian Hemelt. 21 points on the board for St. Joe. What a good night for the Flashes in this first half.
Yeah, fantastic. And Melody Ott, more important than being my wife, the president of the Booster Club, and she's the one responsible for the blow-up hand slapper things that fit in with
Thundersticks.
Flash's theme.
Thundersticks.
Also known as Thundersticks.
Not to be confused with Thundercats, which are very, very different. But also kind of cool. At least they were back in the 1900s when they were relevant.
Did you know that Cal Schilling was from Minnesota?
I did not know that.
Wonder if he likes the Vikings.
We try to have a good time here on WSOS 103.9 and the Flash's digital network. I know we're having a good time. I can't guarantee that all of you are, but at the very least, if you're watching this broadcast, you're here for the Flashes, and they've put 21 unanswered points up on the board. 3:35 to go in the first half. Brian, it's been a fun night for the Flashes, and they look solid. Everything looks solid.
First home game of the season. And we remarked last week that it was as early of a first game of the season as I can ever remember. So some of the fans, I'm sure, were watching, some of the students, families on YouTube. But to see it in the flesh, as you said about a half a quarter ago, to just get the feeling that, hey, maybe this team is for real. This is a team that won 3 games last year, had a lot of young talent, lost a few key seniors, but not many. And they're making some noise tonight.
Hemelt with the kickoff. That is going to go out of bounds at the 15-yard line. A second flag comes down. But it does not appear to be anything extracurricular. I think it was just a second indicator of the out-of-bounds kick.
Hemelt kind of danced with that line the previous kick, and it ended up just dropping dead about 3 or 4 yards inside of the sideline. That one had the wrong kind of roll and went out. With 3 minutes and 30 seconds and a Flash's defense, I don't know if I've mentioned, they haven't given up a point all season, Todd. I feel pretty good about our chances to get a stop, even with the advantageous field position.
Folks, he knows he's repeating himself. And obviously he was having some fun with the fact that I went to the well with the same joke as well. This is all part of the repartee. We're having a good time. We hope you are as well. The Saints are moving from left to right on your radio dial. Black pants, white jerseys, red helmets. Quarterback bobbles the snap just a little bit. He'll be taken down in the backfield. The Flash's defense, opportunistic. They sprinted to the backfield. They'll bring him down for a loss of 5.
Ricky Fernandez with a tackle for a loss there. He's really, after the game last time, Ricky, who again was a big player on defense last year, who's a two-way starter this year, he was kind of disappointed in himself. He told me, yeah, I wasn't that involved. I didn't get that many tackles. He's making up for it tonight. He's been around the ball all night. I've got him down only for 3, but I have a gut feeling that he's been in on a few more, but just because of the difficulty of reading the jerseys, I haven't given him the credit he deserves.
So a short gain there. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10. We're now at 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first half. There is a timeout on the field. We'll take one in the booth. We'll be back in 30 seconds from St. Joseph Academy, where the Flashes lead it 21-0.
I'm looking for a number. Oh.
Welcome back to Friday Night Lights on the Flashes Digital Network and WSOS 103.9. Here is the snap. A little misdirection. Three guys pretend the ball goes over their heads. In the end, it ends up in the hands of number 6. He goes up the middle for a short gain. It is going to be fourth down, 2:29 to play in the first half.
I love the call by Coach Cash there with the timeout. Didn't see who made the tackle, but we're at a 4th and 5, 4th and 6 situation. Flashes, I think, still have one tackle left. They're gonna really put some pressure on the Saints right now, because if the Saints go for it, which they did in similar field position with a longer yards to go earlier in the quarter, then the Flashes are really going to be set up for another shot at the end zone. If they punt with 2.5 minutes, we know we've got some quick strike weapons and some big play players. So I think I love to see that the Flashes are not satisfied with that 21-0 lead.
No, and as they huddle up right around the 40-yard line, getting some instruction from their head coach and offensive coordinator, there's a lot of confidence down there on that field. It was interesting. I actually was listening to an interview with a couple of the Detroit Lions, and they were talking about the feeling coming out of halftime with the lead in the NFC Championship game last year, and the lesson that they learned about staying focused, keeping the intensity level up, and continuing to play in the way that got them there. That's going to be my hope for these Flashes here as we continue in this ball game. The Saints appear to be punting. They've got a man deep. There is a flag thrown just as the ball is kicked. It's going to be downed around the 33-yard line. Going to wait and see what the call is. It's some sort of procedural penalty that's going to go against the Saints. 2:29 to play in the first half. Flashes will have a decision here about declining this or taking the ball where they've got it.
I think you take the penalty. They haven't shown a lot of depth, a lot of yardage. They don't seem like they're taking it, but they haven't gotten a lot of distance on those punts. We've got some dangerous returners. The fact that they're not taking it may give away the intentions of the Flashes with position at the 33-yard line. Maybe they give a couple of Jack Fox runs. Of course, with the way Ray Evans has run tonight and the way Jeremiah Kess and Cody Ott have connected, the deep ball is always a possibility for a big one.
We shall see. They're going to have it at their own 34-yard line.
Jack Fox is in the backfield. Looks like Jeremiah Kess is in man coverage on the far right side. Safety playing slight shade left to Jeremiah's side.
Twins to either side of the formation. Ott's going to throw it. He's got a man, throws it into coverage. There were actually two receivers in the same spot. That one is going to go incomplete. It was both Kess and Glisson in the area.
Somebody ran the wrong route there. That's obviously not a design of an offensive play to have two guys in the same area.
All right, we are 2 minutes and 20 seconds away from the end of this first half. The Flashes lead it 21-0. They've got it second down and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Twins to either side of Ott. He's got a running back who now goes in motion. That's Fox. The throw is to Evans. Evans catches it at his own 30, sprints out across, then leaps over the 40-yard line. He'll be marked down at the 41-yard line. It'll be third down and 3, 2:10 to play in the half.
Nice, safe throw and catch there. You had some blockers out there. I like the design of the play to motion Jack Fox out of the backfield and give you an extra big body to do some blocking there with big play potential there, but not a lot of risk.
Here is the throw. That one is going to be caught by Jeremiah Kess. Kess steps out of bounds. He's going to get the first down, and he stops the clock. A heady play.
Boy, another great play, great chemistry between Ott and Kess. We might be over 200 yards passing in the first half so far for the offense. I haven't run the numbers, but some pretty impressive movement for a game that they were intending to go heavy on the ground. They've actually put up the yardage just the opposite.
You know, Jeremiah is all of a sudden 6 feet tall. Here's the snap. Ott is looking towards Kess again. The double move is working! Makes the grab, sprints all the way down to the 15, but he has grabbed the back of his leg at the end of that play. That is Jeremiah Kess. He is down just inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and he did go down kind of funny there. It looked like a stumble. We hope it's not something major. This is one of those guys that the Flash's offense could not afford to lose.
Trainer is on her way down. That is Tina Vias. 1:40 to play in the quarter. 21-0 lead for the Flashes. Kess is able to hobble off the field. He's now down being looked at.
Jeremiah has over.
They are going to try to continue.
Jeremiah has over 150 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns tonight. Obviously, Cody Ott's favorite target. That would be a great loss for the offense. There's still 1:40 left. First down on the 16. And as we've noted, the Flashes have plenty of other weapons. I like their chances to get in, but the heavy concern is Jeremiah okay?
Flash's offense gets set. 3 wide receivers, wide to the right, 1 man by himself to the left. That's Ray Evans. Ott is going to look towards Evans. Throws this one to the corner of the end zone. Evans has got it. Touchdown, Flashes. How do you like that?
I like it a lot, Todd. I think the idea to play man defense against the Flashes and is really coming back to haunt the Saints. They just can't handle the speed of the receivers and the accuracy of the quarterback.
Flashes now with 27 points on the board. Adrian Hemelt gets lined up for the extra point. What an offensive drive in just a minute and a half by the Flashes. There's the snap, the hold, the kick. It is up and through. 28 points on the board for St. Joe. There is a minute and 37 seconds left in this first half. What an offensive performance thus far.
Absolutely. We didn't really even do a 2-minute drill, but they came out from their own 33-yard line. They knew what they wanted to do there. There was none of this run out the clock. Let's see if we can maybe break a run or so. They had a safe pass. They had a deeper pass. They weren't afraid to throw down the field. We mentioned last week that the confidence that Coach Cash has in his young quarterback, the comfort that Cody has the second year in the system, the connection, especially with Jeremiah Kess, but also with the other receivers that they've worked through the spring and the summer and now a year of football. It's all starting to pay dividends for the Flashes.
Without a doubt. Jeremiah is walking around a bit on the sidelines, hobbling a bit. We're going to see hopefully that we can see him in the second half, but they will evaluate and make those determinations then.
And Jeremiah is a two-way starter, and he's heavily involved in special teams, so the loss would be felt on both sides of the ball. He's a cornerback walking with a limp right now. It might, with a 28-point lead, I'm not sure that I want to see him in the second half. I think that's a guy we got to protect for the long haul.
Here is the kick. It is a high kick that is caught at the 10-yard line. The returner's got a little bit of space, sprinting down the sideline, cuts it back at midfield. He gets taken down at the 50. Adrian Hemelt with the tackle.
Adrian Hemelt. I called him out last week, not only on the radio, but also jokingly with him after the game. And I said, I got to apologize. I made a comment during the game that you made a tackle, and it looked like a kicker tackle, where you kind of obstructed his way and gave him a little bit push. Well, that looked like kind of a combination of a football and a kicker tackle. He moved laterally a little bit, almost looked like he stuck his thigh out, but he wasn't afraid to get in there and take a hit. Proud of Adrian Hemelt, because that's a touchdown-saving tackle, regardless of how he got it done. Great job, Adrian.
1:28 to play in the first half. The Saints have it in plus territory. They're at the Flashes 48. Bunch formation. Here's the snap. Direct snap to number 8. Flashes defense gets some penetration. He tries to sprint out to the sidelines. He's going to end up gaining a couple. It's hard to see from here where he stepped out of bounds. I believe they're going to mark him at the 41-yard line. That's a gain of 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 3 with 1:20 to play in this first half.
So 2 guys there were responsible for that. Jack Fox had some pretty terrific penetration on the right side of the defense. That made the running back push the play further out to the sideline than he wanted to. And really, this is not the first time I've said this tonight, some terrific pursuit from Ray Evans, who ran him down from behind, and Jack Fox bought him just enough time to be able to get in there and make a tackle.
Flash's defense with a safety deep. Here's the snap. Direct snap to number 8. He gets bottled up, runs into one of his own offensive linemen. He'll get taken down in the backfield, and the clock continues to roll. 1:10 to play in the second quarter.
You got to think at some point they're probably going to take a shot here. Just you're down 28 points. You've shown a couple times, yeah, we're just going to run. We're going to keep giving it to number 8. You got to get points, and there's 50 seconds left and counting. They don't seem to be in a hurry, Todd.
They are not. The play clock continues to roll. It's inside 15 seconds. Flash's defense is ready. Here's the snap. It's number 8. He is going to evade the first 2 tacklers. He'll be taken down. I don't know if he was taken out of bounds or not. I have not seen a signal. The clock still rolls. 25 seconds to play in the second quarter. It's 28-0 in favor of St. Joe, and now there is a timeout on the field. 4th down and short. Flashes are heading over to the sideline to chat up the coaches a bit.
And our announcer said that the timeout was by the Saints. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and unless you're going to put in a trick play here or a fake punt, a double pass, something like that. I mean, they had one to burn, but why not just let the clock run out or run a play? And maybe he's trying to rest his guys. I don't know. It seems like with 19 seconds left, you take a shot here. I don't think you really have to worry about the Flash's offense trying to do anything with possession and a 28-point lead. Not to mention the Flashes kicked off in the first half, so they know they're getting the ball back to start the second half.
All right, the Flash's defense heads out for this 4th down play, looking to get a stop here and maintain control of this ball game. Brian, I'm trying to think back to the start. If I'm not mistaken, it was Cedar Creek who received the opening kickoff, so the Flashes are likely to get the ball first in the second half. We'll see what kind of impact that has on their decision if they are able to get the 4th down turnover on downs here.
And I see somebody throwing the ball down there. I can't tell if it's Ollie Brentison.
Here is the snap. That is number 9. He sprints around the left side, and he's going to get the first down. Cedar Creek goes out of bounds. 13 seconds are on the clock, and they'll get to control what happens in these final seconds. Real-life minutes, game seconds.
Having a backup quarterback warm up, though, means that, it's a little bit early to warm up because you got to think they probably run the starters for at least one more drive, if not a quarter. But it'd be exciting to see some of those second-team guys if the game keeps heading in this direction.
Indeed. Which I am told is not a word often uttered by football broadcasters, but I think it's a good one.
Neither is accoutrements, which you have not used
I have
once
not said
this
that
season.
This evening. There has been no reference to any accoutrements.
It has been a favorite in years past, I will point out.
Mostly because of the reaction it gets from my co-host. A lot of discussion. The Flashes are all pointing in the direction of the north end zone and the clock. As if they are signaling a penalty of some kind. One of the coaches is pointing in the other direction.
I think the Flashes were signaling first down, that they should have the ball.
But there was a first down gained by the Saints, so I don't understand that one.
It is a first down by the Saints. We have the definitive sign by the ref.
13 seconds to play They've got the ball at the 36-yard line. And by they, I mean the Saints. Low snap. Quarterback number 6 fires this one, and it is going to be intercepted by the Flashes. Minnesota man makes the play. That will bring us to the end of the first half. The St. Joseph Academy Flashes lead Cedar Creek Christian 28-0. A great first half for St. Joe. We will head to intermission. We'll get all of you who are listening on WSOS 103.9 back to all the music you love from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. For those of you who will be staying with us on the Flashes digital network, we will provide you with the halftime show from our cheerleading squad and then a beautiful picture of the scoreboard, which will hopefully carry you and keep your attention all the way to the start of the third quarter. Thanks for being along with us. My name is Todd. My co-host is Brian. It's 28-0 here at St. Joe. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9 and the Flashes Digital Network. We're having a great time out here at Versaghi Field as we're enjoying the St. Joseph Academy Flashes putting up 28 unanswered points on Cedar Creek Christian. Flashes will be moving from left to right on your radio dial in the second half. They're wearing all black uniforms tonight with a little bit of gold striping, some green numbers, and of course, those famous green lightning bolts on the helmet. Cedar Creek is kind of in we'll call them the Cincinnati Bearcats uniform. Black pants, white jerseys with red and black numbers, and then a red helmet. They're down 28 points, and they're going to be kicking off to the Flashes to start the third quarter.
You wanted to say accoutrements there so bad, didn't you?
No, I very specifically did not say accoutrements because I was called out compliments of a comment I made last year. Although, admittedly, last year I made that 8 times during each game.
I could see you pause. I think you were tempted. Great first half for the Flashes. We thought they would do it on the ground. Instead, they've done it through the air. Cody Ott throwing for 262 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half. Jeremiah Kess catching over 150 yards in touchdowns, in catches and 2 touchdowns. The big story for the Flashes is Jeremiah Kess going down with an injury near the end of the first half. He's on the sideline right now, but on his feet with a helmet on in a game that the Flashes really don't need him right now. We'll see if he goes back, but he's looking pretty good right now, Todd.
Yeah, he seems to be walking confidently, if not slowly. So yes, we'll see what happens once the Flashes have the football in hand. So the ball is kind of laying down on the tee. They're going to try to onside kick it. Flashes do a very nice job of covering that kick. You didn't see it if you were watching the YouTube broadcast because the cameraman still had the camera pointed over towards the kicker. But if you were here and you're in the stands and you've got the radio in your ear, you saw the Flashes dive on it, pick it up, and they are going to take over in plus territory to start this second half.
Max Grimes with the kickoff return there for 2 yards. I think that was a heady play by Max. Pretty darn good onside kick. That was going to get 10. Max was in a position to make a play on it at 8 or 9 before the defense came, and with sure hands, he came out and put his hands on it. Cody Ott hit as he releases the ball, incomplete.
Nice double move on the outside by Raymond Evans. Looks like he might have had a little bit of space, but as you look back on that play, there was a corner kind of in the throwing lane, so he didn't have a clean shot at it.
Some great news for the Flashes, Todd. Jeremiah Kess trots onto the field right now from the sideline.
Fantastic.
And if you're putting him in up 28, you got to be feeling pretty good about where he is with, I think it was an ankle. Jeremiah goes out with a second receiver. Nope, he's solo on the left side. Jacob Cologne, the freshman who caught his first pass in the first half, is out right.
Ray Evans on the keeper, cuts it back, makes a nice move around the right side, gets across the 40-yard line, tries to spin away from a tackler. He'll go down at the 35-yard line. That's a first down for the Flashes.
Great run by Ray Evans. Way to cut back against the field. And good heads-up play by Calvin Schilling, who's excelled as a receiver and a defender. On that play, he made a great play by not doing anything. When the play cut back, he had a guy whose back was turned in front of him, who was initially running the other way, and he put his hands up instead of making what might have been a tempting block in the back there.
You know, I was an unwilling, although sometimes willing blocker as a wide receiver myself. Often interacting with some corners and safeties that were a lot bigger than me. Schilling's got a little size to him and some confidence. Big throw by Evans. That is going to be caught. Jeremiah Kess makes the grab inside the 5. What a throw by Ray Evans.
Everybody was expecting wildcat run there from Ray Evans, and completes a pass to Jeremiah Kess for looks to be 32 yards.
11-12 to play in this third quarter. Flashes moving the ball at will. They're up 28 and knocking on the door again.
Jeremiah Kess with 198 receiving yards, Todd.
Wow.
Can't remember a Flash getting 200 receiving yards ever.
That is going to be an Asher Glisson run into the corner of the end zone. Touchdown Flashes.
And I think we're going to see more Asher Glisson, especially now with a 34-point lead that I believe is going to be 35 with the sure-footed Adrian Hemelt coming up. Asher Glisson is the number 2 running back. We were expecting he was going to get a decent amount of carries tonight with Jack Fox anticipating being used as a tight end. Hasn't materialized a lot. We have seen Asher active in the offense and the defense. Nice touchdown run there for the sophomore.
Adrian Hemelt lines up for the extra point. Man, that's a confident kick through the uprights for the 35th point of the evening. Brian, I'm gonna throw a name out there to you, and I agree with you. We have not seen many receivers at St. Joe in the last 10 years who have threatened that 200-yard mark. The one name that does come to mind is Trey Preston. There was a window where Trey and Considine at quarterback were putting up some pretty impressive numbers. So there's a possibility that he may have hit that mark back then.
We have had some good ones. I remember Trey well, tremendous athlete, great speed. Hearing from inside the booth that we might be going to a running clock now, up 35 points.
You know, the Flash's opponent this week is better than the opponent we encountered last week, and yet this offense actually looks better this week than they did last. I don't know if they're playing up a little bit to their opponent or if they just worked out some of the kinks last week, but Brian, they look really good.
They do, and the irony is they're doing it down 2 offensive linemen. 2 injured offensive linemen. I mentioned early in the first half, Max Grimes, who's done a tremendous job on both sides of the ball, Ricky Fernandez, 2 juniors who helped the Flashes team in so many ways, have been getting it done all over the place. We saw an onside kick last week in this situation.
No, I engaged in some discussions with some relevant individuals, and I don't anticipate we're going to see that today. That was not part of the game plan.
I don't think that was part of the game plan either, but maybe it was. Maybe I thought I saw a thumbs up from Coach Cash, knowing how dangerous number 8 is. Maybe the plan was, let's kick it out of bounds and trust our defense. We have seen Hemelt work the sideline 4 kicks in a row.
There appears to be a new quarterback warming up on the sidelines for the Flashes. That might be Mr. Brintonson that we were talking about earlier.
Ollie Brintonson is a freshman, new to tackle football. Coached him in flag last year at CPS. Heck of an athlete, got a great arm. I'm excited to see what he does with some opportunities.
More trickeration here for the Saints, and this one's actually going to work. Ball is on the ground, but there must have been a whistle because everybody seems to have slowed down. They ran kind of a triple option in the backfield, but they'd really snapped it to an up back. But there didn't seem to be... Actually, it appears that play was live, and it was just that nobody knew it.
And you know, I don't know that I ever saw a tackle. Camden Schweitzer knocked the ball loose. The offensive player picked it up, but I never really saw him get dropped to the ground. Camden Schweitzer is a freshman who is in at cornerback, I think, for Jeremiah Kess.
It's 2nd down and 5. Saints have it from their own 41-yard line. It's the keeper up the middle for number 8. Tries to bounce it outside, but there's really nowhere to run, so he'll be taken down for a loss. 3rd down and 5.
Ray Evans with a terrific tackle. I tell you, one of the things I really like about the Flashes defensively is their gang tackling, and they are hitting with authority. And Ray Evans is high on that list. When he hits you, you know it.
7:44 to play in the third quarter. There is a running clock, so you might feel the second half of this game moving a little faster than did the first half. Third down, here's the snap. It is a reverse here. This is number 9. There are 2 flags down on the field, one on the edge and one in the interior part of the line. Flash's players appear happy at both of those locations. These may both be going against the offense.
Asher Glisson again was in on that tackle, and so was number 17, the freshman, Camden Schweitzer. They're running to his side, and of course the play comes back from the penalty, but a nice effort by the 2 defenders. Asher Glisson's been all over the field on defense.
The St. Joseph Academy Flashes lead 35-0. 6:44 to play in the third quarter. We do have a running clock here from Versailles Field. The weather that we were concerned about earlier in the evening appears to have stayed away for now. It's warm, it's a little muggy, but we're doing okay. A little halfback pass here is going to fall incomplete. No harm done there. Not a traditional halfback pass. It was kind of a direct snap rollout to a running back.
And I think it was Max Grimes who was in his face. And Max Grimes, all of 6'2" or 3 inches, I think. He was fading away, using a basketball term, as he made that pass with Max's arms extended. So that was not an easy pass to complete.
4th down and 15. We're now inside 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. And the Saints are going to punt this one away. Ray Evans is the returner. He is walking back to his own 40-yard line. Actually, he's going to stop around the 42. Now the 43.
I see Coach Wiley T-Bolt talking.
Now inside the 42. Now to the 41 and the 40.
Best kick of the night, but Ray gets a chance at it.
Evans makes the catch around the 37. Big dance move there is going to get him out into midfield. He's got an opening. Cuts it back at the 30. Oh, there is a flag down. This one may be coming back.
But again, just like another big play by, I believe, Ray Evans offensively before, it'll come back some of the way, but not all the way. I'm going to give him 32 before the penalty was marked down.
5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Looks like we've got a player on the Flash's side cramping a bit. He's down at the 15-yard line.
And this might be an opportunity to see the freshman Ali Brinteson. I saw Coach Wiley T-Bolt talking to him on the sideline. See Jacob Cologne, the freshman, is coming in as a wide receiver. Max Grimes is coming in, presumably to play offensive line.
Seeing a couple of new Flashes checking in. Looks like Jameer Stewart is heading in.
Asher Glisson coming off, and it looks like there might be is that Ray Evans that's down, getting stretched out. Had a lot of cramping issues last week in week 1. I don't know if it feels a little bit cooler, but surprisingly, haven't had a lot of cramping issues tonight.
No, and I think there was a real concentration on hydration this week. You know, no matter how many times you tell a player in the preseason before that first game that you have to hydrate, once they go out there, they experience it. They either watch their teammate experiencing that excruciating pain, or if they themselves experience it, you're a little more motivated to get that done.
Ray got carried by a coach and a trainer. That might have been Barry Fox there.
That is
under
Barry
one arm.
Fox.
Ray's upset at being immobilized right now, but the truth of the matter is, Ray, we don't need you that much right now. In fact, with the second teamers coming in on offense, some of them anyway, Jack Fox is still out there. I think this is a time that Ray might have been pulled to the sideline anyway.
5 minutes to play in the third quarter. We have a running clock, so they start it now as the Flashes come to the line.
Ali Brinteson is in at quarterback.
and it's Ollie. Is that correct?
Ollie.
Ollie Brenteson. He's got 3 wide receivers in the formation, 2 to his left, 1 to his right. Flashes are moving from left to right, but now a discussion is going to commence between the head referee and the head coach. Looks like an equipment issue is going to lead to a player heading over to the sidelines. Asher Glisson is going to check in at the running back position.
I don't see the player doing anything equipment-wise. No flag was thrown, but something happened, and the ref removed him, and it might have been a verbal issue.
All right, the flash is here. Here is the handoff to Asher Glisson. Glisson around to the 45, now across, slides his way across the 40-yard line. Looked to put his foot in the ground and really go there and lost his footing.
Well,
4:20 to play now in the third quarter.
We wondered tonight if the field conditions, we got a lot of rain today, the afternoon and the evening, really hasn't seemed to affect play at all. It's the first major slip that we saw.
And it looks like there is a timeout on the field. We're going to take one up here in the booth. It's the Flashes 35, the Saints nothing on the Flashes Digital Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9. You know, I've often said in the radio station that the on-air conversation is good, but the discussions in the studio during the break are even better. Well, sometimes in the broadcast booth during a football game, it is the same way. We try to give you great discussions while the action's happening, but the engagement up here in the press box can be even more entertaining. Thanks to everybody who's joining us tonight for this one. This ball is on the ground, fumbled by the Flashes. The Flashes have recovered and saved the day. 3:47 to play in the third quarter. The handoff appeared to be clean, but the back never really secured the ball. It was stripped away from him, but fortunately a teammate was able to dive on it, and the Flashes will have it third down and a long 3 from the 39-yard line.
I think that might have been Max Grimes, who was moved from the line to get a carry, or maybe a few there, and maybe didn't make a case for getting another one. Got to hold on to that ball, Max.
We're going to call this 3rd and 4. 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Running clock here from St. Joe. Brenteson puts this one in the air. He's got a man. Oh, he can't bring it in. A pretty throw, but that one is going to fall incomplete. The receiver kind of got turned around there and wasn't able to secure it.
We may have gotten a glimpse into the future there. That was freshman throwing to freshman there. Really a beautiful ball by Ollie. He tried to roll right. Had a defender there that I think was threatening to crash down, but didn't go all out in all likelihood because he didn't want to give up the run. Good ball, though, by Ollie.
All right, it is 4th down and 4. Flashes are going to go for it. Just around 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. It's a running clock. Flashes are going to fake the punt. Straight up the middle goes Schilling, and he's going to go all the way for the score. Touchdown, Flashes on the fake punt.
Another of the many offensive weapons for the Flashes in action there, Calvin Schilling, Haven't called his name as often on offense tonight as we did the first game, but he's another guy. Boy, when he got into the open field, he turned on those jets. Another exciting part of the future as a new junior for the Flashes.
41 points are on the board. Flashes kicker Adrian Hemelt is going to try to make it 42. They are set. Here's the snap. Penetration in the backfield, but the kick is up and true. 42-0 with a minute to go in the third quarter.
And boy, it looked like they got in there early. No flags were down, which is fine given the state of the score. Really just more of a statement of the positivity, the coolness of Adrian Hemelt there. He's been automatic today, and even with somebody in his face potentially early, still smoothly delivered a perfect kick.
So 42 points are on the board. The clock is running as we speak. Looks like we got about 33 seconds to go. They may or may not actually get this not extra point. They may not get this kickoff in before the end of the third quarter. If not, the fourth quarter will open with that kickoff. 42 points on the board for the Flashes. They have been electric all night long. And now it looks like the referees are just going to assume that they're not going to get the kickoff. They are waving them to the other side of the field, and I'm not sure that they're even going to go to the quarter break. It looks like they may just go ahead and kick this one off.
Why not?
So I'm going to step over to the computer here and denote quarter 4 on the live stream.
Cole Duffy, another one of those freshmen who's seen a lot of playing time tonight, starting and playing the whole game at linebacker, making at least one nice authoritative tackle. Calvin Schilling comes back on the kick team now. Matthew McCulley is another one of those freshmen we mentioned last week, starting center, and to my knowledge has gotten all of the reps this season, not counting long snaps. He is, I think, going to be a building block for that offensive line for the next 4 years. I know the coaches and certainly the fans are very excited to see the future and what he brings as he continues to grow, strengthen, and learn the game. We got a lot of new guys who are new to the sport of football.
12 minutes are on the clock. A couple of key flashes are on the sideline. Now, there's two really, really positive things about what we're seeing out here tonight. Number one, the St. Joseph Academy Flashes with a really impressive offensive and defensive performance. They lead 42-0. We've got a running clock, and that's good because we love seeing the St. Joseph Academy Flashes find so much success, and also because the Jacksonville Jaguars are taking on the Atlanta Falcons as we speak. There is the possibility that when I get home tonight, I will not be too tired to watch just a couple of minutes of that game before I go to sleep.
At which point, if they're not in already, all of the third and fourth teamers who probably won't make the team will be getting some playing time.
I do have a modern television viewing system that will enable me to actually start the game from the beginning, even though it will be nearly at the end.
Your devotion to preseason football is impressive.
If the Jacksonville Jaguars are engaged in an activity, it is my intention to take it in. Likewise, if the St. Joseph Academy Flashes are engaged in an activity, it is my intention to be as engaged as I can. 11 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Flashes lead at 14-0. Want to give a little shout out to head coach Cash Forbrick for his leadership of this group. I'm also looking down at the sidelines. All of the coaches that are engaged tonight. Our own Peter Wiles is out there. Barry Fox, who's done a lot for this program over the course of the last 20 or 30 years. Huge fan of his. Joe Ayuso, who's made some incredible things happen, along with guys like Jordan Smith and Eric D'Antonis. Here is the snap, another direct snap. Number 7, not too many carries for number 7 tonight, but he is in there now. He's going to pick up about 6 on the play.
Another fantastic tackle by Asher Glisson. Previous play, we had Jack Fox and Ricky Fernandez. Still a lot of starters getting minutes on the Flashes defense.
Preserving the
Sometimes
shutout, I
sometimes
suppose.
as a coach, you want to keep that 0 up. Starting the season off with 2 consecutive shutouts, it's been a while, I think, since the Flashes have done that.
Impressive showing for sure. Fans are enjoying it. The bat goes around the right side. That is number 7. He's going to be taken down by a host of Flashes. They're going to mark him down at the 44-yard line, so that's going to bring up a 4th and 1. 9:38 still to play. St. Joseph Academy leads this one 42-0 over Cedar Creek.
Todd, we had the opportunity over the weekend, you and I, to get in communication with former St. Joe coaching great Brandon Tidwell. He was the architect of some pretty terrific Flashes defense during his very memorable years as St. Joe coach. It was flattering to know that he still watches the games on YouTube. Coach Tidwell, if you're listening on Saturday morning, shout out to you and thank you for all you've done for St. Joe.
Former St. Joe head coach Brandon Tidwell is actually on the staff at Murray State right now. Nice college up there in the great state of Kentucky. Flash's defense has played well. 8:45 to play in this third quarter, but the Saints pick up a first down. It's going to be first down and 10 from their own 47-yard line, nearly the 48. Direct snap to number 7. He tries to cut it back, reverses field in the backfield, and he's actually got some room. Sprints around the left side. He'll get down inside the 35 into Flash's territory. That young man can move.
And Camden Schweitzer makes another tackle for getting in the field to sub out Jeremiah Kess. He's made his presence felt. That was his 3rd tackle as a freshman. He's not afraid to make a tackle, to get after the ball.
Love seeing all these young players getting time. But I actually, as you bring up former head coach Brandon Tidwell, thinking back to, I don't want to say the legitimacy he brought to the program, but he ultimately brought St. Joseph Academy its first FHSAA playoff win and really set the stage for some impressive teams. He had some great athletes on those squads and found a lot of success. Flashes have worked to get back to that over the course of the last couple of years. And I really see a bright future. We are seeing these young guys out there right now getting some real minutes. 7:20 to play in this ball game. Flashes are up 42-0, but they're out there still working really hard. Brian, as you look down the road of this season, what do you feel like the Flashes need to do to continue to improve, to be ready for some of those tougher games that are sure to come?
Well, the easy thing is they've done a good job of cleaning up some of the penalties tonight from last week, but they still made a few that hurt the running game early.
Big tackle there by the Flashes in the backfield. Defense kind of stretched that run out. Now with just about 6.5 minutes to play, it's going to be 3rd down and long. Brian, as you consider what the film session is going to look like tomorrow, anything that you anticipate coaches might be able to identify as just some opportunities for growth?
Well, again, I think whatever those holding penalties were, we got to clean up, because the intent tonight, as I understand it, was to establish a run, and the running game was great in terms of the running back. I think the blocks were there, but we had some key mistakes that slowed us down early on. And if we clean that up, we cleaned up a lot of the penalties in the passing game. I don't think we had a single penalty called on us, a single pass taken back as we did last week when we lost 3 long touchdown passes. But the running game, we lost not just on the line of scrimmage, but we had some foolish down the field plays where it was a block in the back or a hold after a 30-yard gain that could have been a much bigger play.
Flash's defense on fourth down has come up big. It looks like they've held him short of the line to gain, and we may have a turnover on downs here. Flashes would take over with about 5:20 to play, although the far line judge is waving the chains down. They picked up the first down.
I'm kind of surprised. I thought we had them stopped, but certainly they've got a better angle than we do.
Yeah, I mean, we're 80 yards away. So with 5 minutes to go, the Saints are knocking on the door of the red zone for the first time this evening. Closest they came was an interception thrown from around the 40. Nice run here by number 7, although he is going to be met and wrestled down. He grabbed that one in the backfield, had to avoid 2 or 3 tacklers 7 yards deep. He'll end up gaining 2 on the play.
So I think that was Dominic Puntillo might have been in there. I think that was number 54 also. Boy, he's having a great game. Eddie Petracco has been around the ball a lot all night in that linebacker position.
There is a timeout on the field. We'll take one final timeout up here in the booth. 4:25 to play in this ball game. Flashes lead it 42-0. Welcome back to Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.9 and the Flashes Digital Network. My name is Todd DiClemente. My co-host is Brian Ott. We are broadcasting live from St. Joseph Academy's Versailles Field inside the press box tonight because we feared it was going to be a wet and rainy night. It's actually turned out to be a beautiful night, both so far as the weather goes, but also as far as the Flashes play. 42 points on the board for St. Joe, none for Cedar Creek. Cedar Creek has it inside Flashes territory right now. As a matter of fact, they're at the 21-yard line, but it is 3rd down and 8.
Difficult in part because of the dark uniforms and the dark numbers, but also in part because a lot of the runs right now are going, they're on the left hash, offensive left hash, which is the far hash from the booth, and they've been running left, so there's a lot of action that our view not being on top of the box is obscured from.
That pass is going to be completed down around the 17-yard line. That's going to bring up a 4th down. There are 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go in this ball game.
Eddie Petracco again, not combating the pass or challenging the pass, but there to make a sure tackle. I think we might have had Cole Duffy in there with an assist. It was a really short yard, kind of a looping pass with pressure in his face. Going to be 4th and a long 5.
Sprint by number 7 out to the left side. He's going to get a first down. Ooh, ducks his way under a tackle, spins his way into the end zone. Touchdown Saints with 2:35 to play. What an impressive run.
Yeah, and whoever was anchoring the right side of the Flash's defensive line really bit. It was almost like a counter step that he took, but it wasn't a counter step before the handoff, which is the way a counter is. It was a couple of steps with the ball to the right and then changed direction to the left, and there just really wasn't anybody there for outside contain. There was a cornerback who tried to come in a little bit undersized and didn't truly cut off the outside, and a couple of broken tackles by number 7. A nice touchdown run for the Saints.
Little misdirection here. I think the up back is going to try to take this one in. I think the Flashes are going to keep him out of the end zone which is going to mean the score is 42-6, the exact score that Cedar Creek beat St. Francis last week, and now the Flashes are up here. Brian, I was going to make a little amusing segue there as you were speaking to say that the back was moving like a jitterbug. And right now I am looking at weatherbug, and I'm growing a little bit concerned about a bit of rain that is moving our way. So we are very hopeful that we're going to be able to get the end of this game in, and all of these fans will be able to enjoy themselves before the rain comes. With this running clock, there is only a minute and 15 to play. We may not actually see an offensive play by the time the kickoff, which I imagine is going to be an onside kick, is completed. So I want to take an opportunity to thank my co-host Brian for all the insight you've shared tonight. A big shout out to Kathy Sherwood back in the WSOS studios, to Kevin Gettings, the station manager, to CJ Emerson, our on-site producer here for the Flashes Digital Network, as well as for all the people here in the press box that tolerated all of our discussion as we have enjoyed ourselves bringing this broadcast to you live from St. Joseph Academy. There are just about 30 seconds to go. I think we're going to get a kickoff and nothing more before we're done tonight. Any final thoughts, Brian?
Well, looking ahead, we were talking in the booth during the last break that Duval Charter is up next. That's a team that we won against last year. I believe it was 48-0. It was a dominating Flashes win. That was one of our 3 wins. So we don't know what they are this year. I believe they lost their first game convincingly to an Eagles View team that we beat last year. But I like our chances. I like our chances to go 3-0. It's been a while since we've had a 3-0 football team.
Well, we'll look forward to being there next week. The game is over. It's a final. The Flashes win it 42-6 over Cedar Creek Christian. We'll look forward to seeing you next time on the Flashes Digital Network and Friday Night Lights on WSOS 103.